Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My dear subscribers, I hope that you are all doing well and great in your lives. Welcome to my YouTube channel Learn Biology with Naz. In today's topic, we are going to discuss the functioning of kidneys in detail. So the primary function of kidneys is urine formation, and this urine formation comprises of three steps. The first step is pressure filtration, the second one is selective reabsorption, and the third one is tubular secretion. Before going to discuss these three topics in detail, you must know that all of this process of urine formation happens in the parts of nephron, that is renal tubule and renal corpuscle. So what is nephron? Nephron is the structural and functional unit of kidney. Now going to discuss the first step of urine formation, that is pressure filtration. This step happens in the first part of nephron, that is renal corpuscle, and renal corpuscle comprises of two subparts. One of those is glomerulus, that is network of capillaries, and surrounding that glomerulus is Bowman's capsule. So how would you define pressure filtration? It is defined as the filtration process in which pressure forces fluids and all solutes smaller than a certain size through a membrane. Here, the pressure means the pressure of blood when it enters from heart to the kidneys. And what does fluid means? Fluid means water, and solutes mean useful nutrients, ions, etc. So here you can see that all those material or all that fluid come into the glomerulus, and through glomerulus those useful products are reabsorbed in the Bowman's capsule. So how does steps of pressure filtration takes place? The first step is that when blood enters the kidney via renal artery, it goes into many arterioles, then into glomerulus. The pressure of blood is very high in the glomerulus, so the water, salt, glucose, and urea of blood is forced out of glomerulus capillaries. The material then passed from glomerulus to the Bowman's capsule, and in the Bowman's capsule, that material is known as termed as glomerular filtrate. Now, the second step of urine formation after the pressure filtration is selective reabsorption. This selective reabsorption takes place in the second part of nephron, that is renal tubule. And the renal tubule comprises of following parts. First one is proximal convoluted tubule. Second one is loop of Henle. And loop of Henle comprises of two parts, the ascending limb of loop of Henle and the descending limb of loop of Henle. And the third part of renal tubule is distal convoluted tubule. So how would you define selective reabsorption? It is the step of urine formation in which different parts of renal tubule reabsorb different material from glomerular filtrate. So what is meant by reabsorption? Reabsorption means that the useful products that are being filtered from the kidney, from the nephron's different part, are sent back to the blood, and those waste material that are unuseful are moved to the next part of nephron for the further filtration, and the totally useless material is saved in the form of urine. So in this step, that is selective reabsorption, about 99% of the glomerular filtrate is reabsorbed into blood capillaries surrounding renal tubule. The reabsorption of water, iron, glucose, etc. occurs through osmosis, diffusion, and active transport. So here you can see the parts of renal tubule, that is renal artery, after that proximal convoluted tubule, loop of Henle, and distal convoluted tubule. So what are the steps of selective reabsorption? Some water and most of the glucose is reabsorbed from the proximal convoluted tubule. Here you have to discuss the parts of renal tubule and their function. So what those structures reabsorb. Okay, so the first part of renal tubule is proximal convoluted tubule, and this reabsorb water and glucose. The second is descending lip of Henle, and what does it reabsorb? It reabsorbs water. The third one is ascending limb of loop of Henle, and this reabsorbs salt. And the last part of renal tubule is distal convoluted tubule, and it allows the reabsorption of water into blood. From here, third step of urine formation starts, that is tubular secretion. In these steps, different ions, creatinine, urea, are secreted from blood into the filtrate into renal tubule. Why is this done? This all is done to maintain blood at normal pH, that is 7.35 to 7.45, and it is the normal pH of blood of human. Now all those steps of urine formation has been done, and now your urine is produced. So after passing through all above mentioned steps, now the remaining filtrate is known as urine. That the totally useless digestive material or metabolic waste is termed as urine. How would you define urine? You will say a waste product of metabolism that is formed in the kidneys to be excreted normally through urination is called urine. After that, urine formation, this urine moves into the collecting duct and then into the renal pelvis. From there, it moves into the urinary bladder through the ureter, and from the urinary bladder, it is excreted from your body through the opening that is called urethra. Here is the composition of normal urine, that is comprises of 98% water, 2% urea, and 2% other metabolites, that is creatinine, uric acid, ammonia, sodium, potassium, chloride, phosphate, sulfate, and oxalate, etc. So far with this topic, I hope that you have understood all those concepts. Inshallah, we will meet in the next topic in just tomorrow's video. Till then, take care of yourself and your beloved ones, and remember me in your prayers. Allah Hafiz.